this must have seemed unimaginable when you were growing up far away from fame and fortune. Take us back to those days and tell us, what was the extent of your ambition and dreams back then?
I love you too. Now you have to be quiet. I can't remember anything. Okay.
Shut up! Let Sly speak. Thank you.
Okay. I love you too, Sal. Anyway, when I started out, seriously, I really didn't have any big. I didn't have any overview. I thought, like very much like everyone here, I'm no different, seriously. It's just that I have very, very limited options. And I just thought, wow, I just got to focus on something and I'll give it a certain time limit. And that was actually, it was acting. And after I tried it for about 6 years, I couldn't get anywhere. And I realized that door is shut. And I said, okay, either I completely quit or just say, shut that down and try to find something else in the business. So now you're behind the camera. That's when I started to write. And what is unusual is, I'm not a good writer. You know what I mean? I'm not what you would say, a proficient Cambridge-trained writer. But I understood a story. I understood what my story was. And I thought, I'm sure there's other people that feel like me. And that's how it all started.
But it was a struggle, wasn't it, for you as a writer and actor at first? How bad did things get? Were you ever homeless at any stage?
I did spend about a week in the bus station. Yo, Adrian! I love you! Well, again, like all of us, sometimes it's tough to find the place to stay. So when I got to New York, I remember it was just turning around 1970 and I was broke. I was broke. I had come from Europe, I had been backpacking around Europe. And it's at that time when you're going, you know, I need to find myself. I need to find myself. And then one day I reached in my back pocket, grabbed my butt, and I go, wow, there I am. So, mystery solved. I said, okay, now you got to get on with your life. Yeah. And then, so I go to New York, and I didn't have any money, so I slept in a bus, where the bus depot is.
Oh, you slept in the bus?
Oh yeah, every day. And you know, you keep moving around during the day, and then at night you find a bench, and usually the police didn't care. You know what I mean?
So how did you find the inspiration to not just give up? I mean, you're sleeping in a bus station, you've still got your dreams. That would have destroyed other people. How were you able to, keep fighting for your dreams?
Get up! You just have to...
We get it.
I get it. Thank you. No, you talk about how do you not give up on something. It's very hard. It really is. Hanging on to something, though, seriously, when you have nothing ahead of you, this is the defining moment in your life. Literally, when it's like getting dressed in the dark or going into a house with no lights on, you just throw all caution to the wind and you just try. And you know what? You fail. And then you fail again. And then, like I said, you bump into the wall. But eventually, you start to learn your way around. And that thing you're learning your way around is yourself. Yeah. And you start to find out what you're good at and what you're bad at. And I realized I was not very good at certain things, but I was sort of good at that, which was like telling a story about a common man or a common woman. That's not aristocracy, not intellectual, but more of like working class. So that's how it started to evolve. It's just, basically living with fear. You just stay scared. You learn to deal with fear.
So how did seeing the Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner fight lead to the show?
After the show we'll talk, okay?
Yeah, you'll get a chance.
No,
sit down, shut up, or be thrown out. Okay? Thank you very much. Last warning. Now, one thing you were great at was writing the story of Rocky that really changed everything for you. How did seeing the Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner fight in a closed circuit cinema lead you to create that character?
Okay, because it's all about symbolism. If I wrote about myself, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like another out-of-work actor. No. You go, but what what is a metaphor? What's a symbol for life? It's a fight. And what is a better symbol at that time, which is something that's unbeatable, like Muhammad Ali at that time? Well, there used to be a fighter, a real fighter named Rocky Marciano. Now, Rocky Marciano, small, 185 pounds at that time, yet he's undefeated. And I thought, the fact is, if you took two historical characters and sort of put them together in a fantasy, but the fact is they actually did exist. So when the audience went to see Rocky, subconsciously they're going, well, this kind of has happened in reality, an unknown tough guy named Rocky. So that's why I actually had a picture of him in Rocky's apartment to kind of pay tribute to him. So, how you doing, this Rocky? But that's what started, was the actual, that fight. And there was a guy named Chuck Webber who became the modern day Rocky, was the Bayonne bleeder. And everyone, literally he was famous for bleeding in the ring. This guy would start bleeding on the way to the ring. He's that kind of guy. So anyway, he went the distance. He almost the distance, but pretty close. And I said, there it is. That's the symbolism I'm looking for.
Did you really write it in 3 days, or is that a myth?
Yes, I did. I wrote it in about 3.5 days. But about 80% of it was useless. But I'm a big believer in this. I say go after something, and you know it's going to be sloppy. You know it's going to be incomplete. And people go, oh, that's terrible. You're right, but you got it done. Then you go back and you fix, and you fix, and you fix until you get it right. A lot of writers, a lot of people spend so much time trying to be perfect the first time out, they never get anywhere. I tell you, some of these writers, they drive me crazy. They'll spend a month on one scene. I'll spend a day. But I know